Welcome back to the Malaysia Money Matters Show. It's the 6th of Jan 2026. Our mission today, as always, is to give you a shortcut through all the noise, the corporate drama, the market moves, and the political shifts that are really defining the start of the year. Let's jump right in with a massive legal challenge. This one is, well, it's rocking the infrastructure financing world.
Okay, yeah, let's get right into this one. It's a big deal.
We're talking about the RM1.38 billion suit. It's been filed by 14 Sukuk holders against the CIMB investment bank and, 11 other parties?
That's right. And it all stems from that incomplete MEX II highway project.
So what's the core issue here? I mean, why are they going after the bank so hard?
Well, that's the fascinating part. They're not just suing the developers. They are specifically targeting CIMB Investment Bank, you see. The allegation is that CIMB, as the arranger, failed to ring-fence sufficient funds to get the highway finished.
So it's about accountability. This isn't just about the money, then.
Exactly. It's a critical test case. For listeners, a Sukuk is an Islamic bond, so this really puts the liability structure of these major instruments under the microscope.
CIMB says it's confident that there's no material impact expected, but a RM1.38 billion suit? I mean, that has to be a huge reputational risk, right?
It absolutely is. Regardless of the legal outcome, that reputational cost is already there. It sets a huge precedent.
Okay, from systemic legal risks, let's shift to insider movements. Datuk Seri Farhash Wafa Salvador Rizal Mubarak.
Oh yeah, the MMAG Holdings exit.
He sold his entire 19.9% stake and resigned as chairman.
And what an exit. I mean, 462 million shares for RM87.32 million. That works out to 18.9 cents per share.
Which is more than double the market price at the time, isn't it?
More than double. The counter was closing at 7 cents. It's a very high premium offload, especially after the stock's sharp fall late last year.
Now let's see where the money is moving on the ground. Property. Sunway is on a bit of a land grab.
They're continuing their aggressive strategy.
Yeah. 3 parcels in Puchong, USJ1, and Georgetown for nearly RM180 million.
And this just reinforces their whole strategy,
Yeah.
Accumulating prime land, focusing on integrated and transit-oriented developments. The total gross development value from just these 3 parcels, it's estimated to be over $1 billion ringgit.
And Glonek is part of this. They're selling their Puchong land to Sunway.
That's right, for about RM97.3 million. It's a smart move for them. Unlocks that value immediately so they can repay borrowings. Good for the balance sheet.
Switching gears to tech. A unit under the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, MIMOS, endorsed an AI solution from Zetrix.
A blockchain-based age check solution. This lines up perfectly with Malaysia's planned under-16 social media ban.
So the government is signaling a preference for this kind of tech.
I think so. They're prioritizing a privacy-first approach. It uses digital ID to verify age without the platforms needing to collect all that sensitive personal data. It's a policy choice for decentralized tech.
And a quick look at 2 market movers. Insights Analytics hit limit up.
Right after CIMB Securities started coverage, they're expecting something like 52% annual earnings growth.
And Apex Healthcare is being taken over by Firmora?
Yep. Successful takeover. It'll be delisted from the bourse soon.
Okay, let's pull back from the corporate level to the broader political and macro picture. PM Anwar announced a big push for reforms in 2026.
Term limits. Freedom of Information Bill.
Yeah.
All important stuff. But the immediate economic impact is really for the SMEs.
What kind of relief are we talking about?
Well, first, they postponed the mandatory e-invoicing deadline by a whole year to 2027 for the smaller businesses. And on top of that, the service tax on rental for existing SMEs is being cut from 8% down to 6%. That's a real easing of cost pressures.
And the overall 2026 macro outlook seems to hinge on domestic demand, doesn't it? Because of external headwinds like U.S. tariffs.
It does. The optimism is really fueled by a tight labor market, cash aid, that civil service salary hike. It's all meant to keep consumption going. Analysts see the KLCI going up to 1,821.
Wait, if the outlook is that bullish, how do you explain foreign funds being net sellers last week? The outflow was what, RM 904 million? Where does the capital come from to hit 1,821?
That is the tension right there. The market is basically betting that domestic resilience can overcome that continuous foreign outflow. We're seeing a total decoupling.
So local institutions and retail investors are supposed to fill the gap.
That's the hope.
Adding to global complexity, we saw that U.S. military operation in Venezuela.
And the capture of Nicolas Maduro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that immediately injected a massive dose of geopolitical risk into the markets.
So oil prices spike and safe havens like gold and the dollar climb.
Exactly. And it throws the entire future of Venezuela's huge oil reserves into doubt, which directly affects, Chinese and Russian companies with big investments there.
And just to bring it back home, the MEC has opened a big graft probe.
Into army procurement, yes. They're investigating 26 companies and their owners. A huge sweep, signaling a deep systemic issue they're trying to fix.
So wrapping it all up, what's the key takeaway for you? It feels like a lot of mixed signals. On one hand, you have strong domestic policy easing pressure on SMEs, but on the other, the macro markets are fighting foreign outflow in these huge global shocks.
Which brings up a really important question for you to think about. Given the government's tax cut on rental and that e-invoicing delay, how will these specific policies actually change the cost of business for local companies this year? That's where you need to look for the opportunity.
A fantastic specific point to end on. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, make sure you subscribe to the Malaysia Money Matters podcast.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you would like a deeper dive into all the investment opportunities from today's news, subscribe to my newsletter at moneymatters.substack.com. I will be sharing a deeper analysis of the key investment opportunities from today's news, including what makes these opportunities stand out and how they fit into the broader market trends. By subscribing to the Malaysia Money Matters newsletter, you will also get exclusive insights on my watch list and portfolio and fundamental reports on Malaysian listed companies.